Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing my spoiler discussion for The Void. I did do a spoiler-free review, even though it doesn't really matter that much, but I did do a spoiler-free review, so if you guys want to check that out and not have any spoilers, there'll be a link in the description for that, but I don't know. I don't know if that'll really matter with the way I kind of reviewed this movie, but check out my review if you're interested without having the spoilers like kind of right off the top. You can get a feel for what I think of the film. But getting right into this with the spoilers, very odd film. For anyone who may not have seen my spoiler-free review or you just don't care, my main thing with this movie is that I love the beginning, and then it just drags. Like honestly, once they got into that sub basement, it just like constantly as they went further down, I just had less interest in the film because it was so dark. Only color was red. It was super horror cliche sort of look, and it was just unentertaining. It was like they had some moments that were interesting, like getting the actual answers. The part where the kid who can't speak goes, like, he turns the corner and then he's like in his house again, with the characters being like mentally manipulated. I love that part of the movie. Like they're seeing stuff that isn't actually happening. The main character, when he gets to his wife and he sees her and he's like, as soon as he went in there and she's like, I'm about to have the baby, and he's like, oh wow, and he grabs her hand. I was like, oh crap, he's being taken over by the creature now. I thought that was cool, and then he kind of snapped out of it, and also we find out that she died, which I was like, that was one of the few things I loved about this movie, because I was like, holy crap, that is the idiot character going to do an idiot thing, which was, there are monsters and stuff, but I have to go around this corner to this dark area that who knows what's going to be in there. I have to go there in order to like get these vitamins or whatever for the pregnant girl. It was like, okay, that's dumb in general, but you can at least wait and like try to talk it out. That's what happens in every horror movie. It's like, this is dumb, but fine. If you're going to keep arguing about it, we at least go as a team. We figure it out. This is like, nope. She was just like, they're out there to get the shotgun. I'm going to go get these drugs. Nobody stopped her. And it was just like, well, look at that. She actually died. Like real life. That's exactly what would happen. You would be an idiot, go somewhere after you fought a giant effing monster, and then you'd get kidnapped. You'd be taken down to the crazy, super secret, 4 levels deep, underground hospital room, and you would have a creepy monster put into you, and then you would be like mutated and explode out of your stomach and turn into like this gross thing. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That was like one of the few logical things that happened. Like them not putting any barricades up at the hospital was dumb. Her going to this random part of the hospital was the dumbest thing ever. The part where they're like going, they're in the sub basement, even though it didn't matter. At this point, they were already down there, so it was like, it's kind of a split thing where it's like, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, it's almost too late. But when they're about to go through like the final door or whatever, and the dude is like, this might be a mistake. Like, at this point, they've gone down so freaking far. It's like, I don't know. At that point, it was kind of up in the air. It was like, I don't know, like, you went this far, what's turning back really going to do at this point? So it was kind of in between where it's like, it does make sense because they aren't dead yet, but at the same time, it was just kind of weird. But main character was like, I got to save my wife and everything like that. So very odd the way it was playing out. But the beginning I really loved. It starts off really crazy. You just assume these people are like killing random people. And so random dude gets away. Woman doesn't. They like torture her body, and it's like, okay, crazy start. These guys are just like murderers or something crazy. Go to our main character. He sees the dude on the ground. He takes him to the hospital. Things start to get really weird because he sees the people in the white outfits with the triangles on their faces. So this plays out. We get introduced to the rest of our characters. We have like the grandfather and the granddaughter. We have the main 2 doctors, the older guy, and then the main character's wife. Of course, I don't remember like anyone's name. I didn't even bother. But we have the 2 of them. We have the other doctor, or maybe she was I don't know who was a nurse or who was a doctor. I don't know if the old guy was like the only actual doctor, but we'll just say they're all doctors. And then the one character, the younger character who is training to be a nurse, or possibly training to be a doctor. Like I said, I don't really know. So they get there, we get introduced to them, and we get introduced to like the one other patient that was actually in the hospital. And then we have the dude who was taken in by the main cop. So then we also get introduced to like the sheriff or whoever he was who knew the guy's dad, which they constantly brought up about the guy's dad. Like everyone knew his dad, and how his dad was like that kind of cool guy almost, and how he died, and how his son was like a screw up cop, and little stuff like that. Ultimately, I felt like that didn't really matter that much. They referenced it a bunch, but I didn't feel like it. In the end, I didn't think it came back as like an impactful moment where he's like, this thing from my father, anything random. Except for the fact that the monster, the doctor who's like mutated himself mentioned like, you have to die now, like your father before you and your father and son before you. So I was like, I don't know if that was alluding to the fact that he killed his father, because they never really referenced how he died or anything like that. So I was like, I don't know if that was actually the doctor that did that, or he definitely didn't kill the baby, because he references the fact that the baby was just choked up, by the umbilical cord. So I was just like, okay, well, he definitely didn't kill the baby, so I assume he was just saying, you have to die now, simply like, coincidentally, like your father and your son. He didn't actually, wasn't involved with it. So once again, it was like the dad thing kept coming up, but it was just like, I have a dead dad, and it never really mattered. It was one of those weird things, everybody kept talking about it, but it never, like, enhanced the character to do something where it was like, I remember this, or something my dad told me a long time ago, where my dad would have done this, maybe, or whatever, and it worked. It was just like, your dad is dead. And they just kept saying it a bunch throughout the movie, and they never meant anything to me, unless I missed something, I don't know. But like I said, the beginning I thought was great. The guys seeming like killers get to the hospital. The nurse ends up like freaking out. She's cutting her own face. She kills the dude that was in the hospital bed, and so the cop ends up shooting her. That's when the sheriff like takes his gun and like it's a shit show and all this crap. And so then they hear a bunch of random screams from the guy that the main character brought in, and he's like, you gotta get me the F out of here, because something's going on. Like, as they're talking, we get like little cuts to this body like opening up, and there's little tentacles and stuff like wiggling around. I was like, alright, this is very interesting. I thought it was gonna be like a crazy drug that made them go crazy, or almost like a cabin fever sort of thing. That's kind of what I was thinking at first. And it was like, nope, this is a full-on monster mutation thing. Don't know if that's tied into the people from the beginning of the movie. Don't know if that has anything to do with the people in the white cloaks and stuff. So that gets nuts. They get the guy out. Crazy monster. They have to shoot up this monster and kill it. They start asking the guy questions and stuff, and then he ends up, holding a woman hostage. He kills the doctor, which seems like he's just a crazy dude. Then it turns out that the doctor is the one behind everything, and he was like, the doctor is the dude, that's why I had to kill him. And then of course it turns out that the doctor has already done so much stuff with like the satanic rituals and everything that he's immortal now. So I was like, when that happened, I was like, that's actually cool. Like, that was a cool little answer in the beginning. Turns out he's like the main bad guy throughout the whole film, and he's the one that has this crazy cult, and it was just really good. I was like, alright, this is pretty entertaining, this is interesting. And he's, just vanished throughout the hospital, they don't know where he's at. Of course, the wife of the main character, she, like an idiot, like the dumbest decision ever, decides to go despite there being monsters, and she gets captured and she gets ultimately killed, we find out at the end. And that's kind of where it declines. Once they go into the basement, it's like, oh, there's a secret sub-basement. We have the grandfather, the pregnant granddaughter, and then the other nurse. And so she's there trying to help the woman, the daughter, the teenager, give birth. And then the other four characters, the kid who can't talk, main character, the guy who's super angry all the time, for a valid reason, and then the dude who knew about the doctor and all the ritual stuff, they go into this sub-basement to try to get some answers and to try to save this guy's wife. So as they're going through, there's a bunch of long drawn-out stuff that I felt didn't really matter. Then it got to some cool stuff when they got to like the mental manipulation thing, and I was like, that's actually cool. Like, that was one of those things where like, that's really sweet. Little moments, the dude, going around the corner and turning, suddenly he's in the house and they fight and he has to like, snap the dude out of it. I don't know what the one guy was thinking, the guy who knew about the rituals. For whatever reason, his idea, like after all this time they've been in the basement, I guess he was like, now's my chance, now that it's just me and this other guy. He jumps on him and tries to choke him out. I was like, what is he thinking is going to happen here with the two of them alone in the basement? Even if he killed off the main character, what was he going to do? Just run backwards? Like, he could have done that without trying to kill the dude, but ultimately that's what got him killed, because the cop, like, flips him off his shoulders, and there were monsters in the room as they were fighting, and he got dragged around the corner. I was like, that's what he gets. Like, that was, it didn't make any sense to me why he suddenly chose to do that at that moment, as if he couldn't have just taken off. Like, the guy wouldn't have shot him. That would have been a waste of ammo. Like, why kill this random dude? Like, I would prefer if he's with me, but I'm not going to waste ammo if, I don't know, maybe he would have shot him, because the movie's weird, they made a lot of dumb decisions. So maybe he would have wasted the ammo, who knows. But I was like, why would he try to choke him in this random moment? Like, what would killing him really do? Like, it's not like his legs were handcuffed. He could have ran. If he, he wouldn't have had a weapon, but I guess that was his whole point, was to try to kill him and get the, I think he had a handgun still, or like another, I think he had the other shotgun. So it's just like, I don't know what his point was, but it got him killed, so it didn't matter. And then it gets to, the reveal that the pregnant teenager was actually working with the doctor the whole time. I thought that was another great little moment where I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, she kills her grandfather, and it's like she's gonna try to kill the other girl who ultimately, ends up surviving, like her and the guy who can't talk. But it was just like, that was really crazy. I didn't see that come in. I was like, that's a nice, minor, small little twist, but that was actually kind of cool. And that's when the other people start coming in, which, once again, very stupid line was like, what about the people outside? And the main cop is like, oh, we don't have to worry about that. They're not trying to get in. They're trying to keep us from getting out. It's like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just because someone's standing there doesn't mean that they aren't going to try to come in later. It just didn't make any sense. It was like, you just barricade. Like, if they barricaded after he was first attacked, which I mentioned this in my spoiler-free review, it makes sense. Like, after he was first attacked, that everyone was freaking out, and then right after he got stabbed and he ran back into the hospital, everybody's freaking out and stuff about what just happened. That's when the other two guys from the very beginning of the movie come right in, and that's when all the chaos starts to break out, and the dude, like, holds the woman and he kills the doctor, and it's just, like, super insane. It's like, nobody knows what the F is happening, and they have to, like, go kill off this monster, and then the sheriff dude ends up getting killed, but they, the main character and the other two guys from the beginning team up to kill the other monster, and they do it, they do that later, and that's how they get the gun back. But it was just like, man, after that, they had their cool down moment, like, what do we do next? And that's when they have, because I think all that stuff happens, and then they go get the shotgun, and that's when it's like, oh crap, she left and got herself killed. But they still had time. It wasn't like enough time to never have the idea of putting up a barricade. Like, they had more than enough downtime before they went to get the shotgun to be like, all right, we'll get the shotgun, and then we'll barricade the doors and stuff like that. It's just like, that never came up. So dumb. But it just kept going, and then of course we get eventually to the end of the film. We get like the daughter, or the teenage girl, makes her way all the way down to the basement where the doctor is, the mutated doctor, and then the main character. And he gets stabbed in the back, and I was like, wow, he's just getting beat up left and right. Like, after a certain point, he was just getting beat up like crazy. So he gets stabbed, and I was like, crap, is he actually going to die? And then that's just kind of the way it ends. After, they have the moment where he, like, kills his wife and stuff, and they make it seem like it's going to be the end, which I figured it wasn't, but, like, they do it without any sound, where he's, like, hacking his dead wife's body up and stuff like that. And I was like, it's interesting that they did, like, the slow pull back and fade out, because that definitely makes it seem like the end of the film. But then, he gets to the main guy and everything, and he gets stabbed in the back, he falls over, and she's like, I want to deliver your baby in this. And then I guess she saw flashes of what was going to happen, and she snapped the F out of it and was, like, freaking out. But then the baby, like, burst out of her body, and it was, like, 18 million times bigger than it was in her stomach. It, like, instantaneously just grew. It was, like, some Power Ranger stuff. And so this giant, crazy creature comes out. Had a great scene when it was stomping on the ground and then, like, smashed one of the heads. I was like, that's really cool practical effects. So then the two guys, the kid who can't speak and the other guy who's just mad all the time, they end up fighting the monster. Mad guy, he's fighting like crazy, and ultimately he, like, pours oil on himself and stuff, and he's like, toss the match and, set us both on fire to try to kill the monster. Sadly, he dies, and that doesn't end up working. Kid, takes off. Cop is strong enough, just strong enough to, like, tackle the doctor through the crazy, pyramid, dark side of the moon deal. And so they disappear, everything starts shaking, kid gets out, he jumps, he's in the hallway, then he finds the other girl and they take off. And the dude, the main character, is with his wife, who is somehow there. My only explanation for that was, like, I guess because the doctor was like, I'll give you your wife back if you join me, and he thought that he was joining him. He had that power. That was, like, the only explanation. I kind of told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm just going to go with that's the explanation as to why she was there, even though her body was left in the main world, and he jumped through the portal. Was like, that's what he wanted, and he was offered. So I was like, that's what I'm going to go with. It doesn't matter, because they have the weird ending anyway. Like, they're both in the crazy dark cloud dimension, which the cop had it tied to through the whole thing. I feel like that could have been tied to his dad, maybe, somehow. I don't know. But he was somehow saw that after he passed out that one time early on in the movie after he killed the woman. But I don't know. No real answers. They're there. They see the giant black pyramid. And then the movie goes off. I don't know if there's supposed to ever have been a sequel. I never looked it up. I only saw this a few days ago, so it hasn't really been on my mind outside of just doing these videos. But really crazy movie. Really odd. Entertaining. Very entertaining in the beginning, and that was just like its downfall. It was a great opening to me, at least, with all the chaos, and then it just suffered. and it was just like a lot of dumb stuff happened in this movie. But like I said, I did love the fact that this woman made a really dumb choice, and she actually died, because that doesn't happen. In horror movies, people make the dumbest choices, but they still manage to live, until it's like that last minute dumb choice where it's like, I'll check this closet. It's never like the first dumb mistake gets somebody killed, and they're just dead, basically, through the rest of the film. But that actually happened to her. She got kidnapped, she got the monster put in her, and then she died. And I was like, that's logical. That is exactly what would really happen if you're dealing with monsters and psychos and a crazy demon doctor guy. It's like, that makes a lot of sense. She got captured in the beginning, was not necessarily tortured. She had a crazy monster implanted in her body, and then she like mutated and died. And I was just like, at least that makes sense. I like that. I like the fact that she just died from a very dumb decision. Pretty much everyone should have died from the decisions they made, like not barricading the hospital, but fortunately the girl was able to survive, and she just survived, and the two of them get to leave at the end of the movie. But crazy film. We'd love to know what you guys thought about it. Any random things you guys would like to talk about, and just what mindset you were in when you finished the movie. Would love to know that. So please just, put your comments down in the comment section below. I don't really know what else to say about this. It was literally just going through it and being like, that was weird. This is just, some things didn't make sense. This just happened. It was crazy. But would love to know what you guys thought about the movie. Even if you haven't seen the movie and for whatever reason you watched all the way through this, please tell me what you think of the film based on my description of it. Because that's pretty much everything that happens. I think I pretty much explained everything I needed to explain pretty much throughout this little spoiler discussion. I think I got everything pretty much covered. Doctor was a bad dude. The spiritual stuff never really gets explained. It was just bad. But that's pretty much it. We'll love to know what you guys thought about it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.